Hi, welcome to Your Art Dude Talks Art. Today I'm going to talk about my favorite museum. It's the Salvador Dali Museum in St. Petersburg, Florida. And it houses the largest collection of Dali's works outside of Europe. And that right now they have an exhibit that I went to today. It's called Midnight in Paris. And this is kind of highlighting the Surrealism movement. There are actually two different groups calling themselves Surrealists, and Dali was one of them, But this exhibit talks about the Surrealism being at the crossroads in 1929. And there was just a lot of politics within the movement, and that happens a lot in art, unfortunately, in the art world. People want to start a group of artists, and then they want to start putting rules on it. And the Surrealists were kind of a group that was promoting more like freedom, and that's what they were about. And part of the controversy within the factions was about whether or not they should be including new and upcoming media. Some wanted it, some didn't want it. Some of that media includes photography, which had been around since the 1800s, but was really becoming a fine art form in the 1920s. And the new media, film, was also coming about, and it was being explored as a new art media as well. And so some of the more traditionalists who wanted to stick with painting and things like that thought that these media shouldn't be included. But there were a lot of people in the group, one of the groups anyway, including writers and poets, and so they wanted to be more inclusive and allow freedom of expression. Interestingly enough, the time that this movement was really gaining a lot of influence in culture and fashion and everything else, I mean, it started out of what happened with World War I. And World War I was a very change-oriented type of historical event. A lot of things happened. You saw after World War I, you started seeing a lot more democracies in terms of politics, people getting away from the monarchies of Europe. And so there was a whole lot of change. And they were becoming very prominent in the art world and fashion world and everything like that right before the Nazis took power in Germany. And they declared Surrealism and the Dada movement and any kind of modern art movement really as decadent art. And they were very much against any kind of modern art. They were more into the classics and thought that art should follow those types of guidelines. But anyway, this movement or this exhibit, Midnight in Paris at the Dali Museum, has really got some really nice works of art in it. If you get a chance to go to St. Petersburg, Florida and see the exhibit, I would highly recommend it. It's a really good show with some really wonderful artwork in it. And you can learn some really good things at the Dali Museum too. Their docent-led lectures or tours are really informative, and I'm a member. I hope you'll become a member when you come. But anyway, that's what that was about. So thank you for listening to my first short little podcast. And I like keeping them short because I think people's attention spans these days are kind of short. But I'm going to keep doing these about art that I see around and in my travels, and I hope that you'll enjoy listening. Please feel free to give me some comments, and I know it's not a professional recording. I hope to get better with time, but have a safe and wonderful day, and peace and love. Thanks for listening.